Hello and welcome to Ukraine Today. I'm Volodymyr Solokhub. Joining me now is the founder of information platform Ukrainian Events in London and one of the activists of Ukrainian community in the United Kingdom, Mr. Serhiy Burnus. Mr. Burnus, welcome to Ukraine Today.
Thank you, Volodymyr. Welcome to London.
Mr. Burnus, during the last 2 years, the lives of many Ukrainians living abroad have been changed dramatically. There was the Euromaidan revolution, the Crimea annexation, the war in eastern Ukraine. Can you tell us how the lives of active Ukrainians here in London and the United Kingdom have been changed during this time?
Yeah, the life of active Ukrainians changed tremendously, and the life, I would say, of those who are not active changed as well. Many people and many organizations that were not involved into social and community activities, they became visible. They started doing something in support of Ukraine during the revolution, and then during the war, to help Ukrainian military, to help Ukrainian organization, to help Ukrainian state, to help hospital, to help on all possible fronts. And during the last 2 years, we had, I would say, more than 300 different protests. I think maybe around 100 different fundraising concerts and campaigns. And many organizations during these events and protests tried to deliver the message that we need help, we need support, and many Ukrainians united and started doing something, and this was the biggest progress during the last years. So,
did you see the emergence of many NGOs during this time in the United Kingdom, the NGOs which are founded and led by Ukrainians? And what do these NGOs do?
Yeah, there is a huge number of NGOs. Some of them, of course, were active previously, but some of them appeared just recently, not only in London, but around the UK. They started doing various campaigns, first of all for fundraising, collecting money to buy equipment, to buy medicine, to buy any kind of support that can be useful in the war zone. And for example, new organization, British Ukraine Aid, it emerged from London Euromaidan movement, and it is now officially registered. It now helps medical institutions and those soldiers who suffered injuries and families of those who were killed. And this charity helps them with supplies of medical equipment, medicine, and financial support.
So can we talk a little bit about numbers?
Yes.
Do you have an idea of how many Ukrainians live in the United Kingdom and how many of them are activists?
Yes, for activists, I think in London we have around maybe 5-7 organizations that are more or less active, and we can say that there are maybe up to 100 active people who are engaged into fundraising activities on a daily basis. And as for general number of Ukrainians in the United Kingdom, my assessment would be that it's 500,000 Ukrainians who are of Ukrainian origin, already became British nationals, or still Ukrainian. So, and this number cannot be precise because there is no official statistics, but the number is huge and it is growing these days.
There's also a big Russian community, especially here in London. What are your relations with the Russians? Obviously, these people who live, the Russians who live here in the United Kingdom, they have access to alternative sources of information as opposed to people who live in Russia who have just one way of receiving news and who are, I must say, brainwashed. So these people who have alternative view on the things, would you say they support the policy of President Putin?
I've met two groups. One is, I don't know, old-fashioned, and they, even being here, they support Russian policy and they support even annexation and even war in Ukraine. And I don't know how it could happen. And another group is progressive, as we can call them, and they are trying to be active, and of course they are pro-Ukrainian, and they even attended some of our protests and some of our events, and they try to be helpful the way they can. So, and of course with such Russian groups and organizations we cooperate, and of course when they need support we share our advice and assistance. And of course we hope they can change Russia eventually in future from abroad, or maybe they will get some experience and it will be useful for them to fight against Russian regime.
Serhiy, can you tell us about your relations with the Ukrainian embassy here in London? For many months, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was a year and a half, there was no ambassador. So there was no ambassador in the country, which is so vital and so pivotal to the international relations and to Ukraine relations. Now that there is a brand new ambassador appointed just weeks ago, how is your cooperation with the embassy?
So you're right, there were no ambassador for almost 2 years, I guess, because the previous one departed earlier, and so we were expecting that this appointment will be a matter of priority, because embassy during the war, especially in the countries such as UK, is very important because it can deliver political messages, it can communicate with media, it can help with fundraising and promoting this need for support from the West, especially from the UK, which is a guarantor of Ukrainian sovereignty under the Budapest Memorandum. And what is most important, there are means and there are ways that embassy can be very helpful. They can represent Ukraine on various levels and do it officially on behalf of the state. So this role...
So would you say that during the last 2 years, Ukraine was not represented in the United Kingdom on the official level?
We cannot say it wasn't represented because the...
Who was representing Ukraine?
The staff of the embassy was here, but there was no official ambassador, and of course the level of representation was suffering because, as British partners say, there is no ambassador, there is no one to meet. So, of course, there were some people coming from Ukraine, deputies, ministers, who were trying to get in contact, but official permanent representation was missing. So many of the roles also were taken by the activists and the organizations. So many activists like Ukrainian Institute, like London Euromaidan, Association of Ukrainians in Great Britain, they were meeting with journalists, giving interviews, commenting on the situation, and providing just up-to-date picture what's happening in Ukraine and what's needed. Then on a political level, many activists were attending committees and meetings at the parliament, at different ministries, different public meetings, and were physically participating and raising issues of the Ukrainian, of the importance for Ukraine. And that is also a very crucial point because on a daily basis Ukraine must be on news, and our critical issues must be sound.
Yeah, so now that there is a new ambassador, did the ambassador already find time to meet with Ukrainian activists here in London?
Not yet officially. I guess maybe because she still hasn't received a formal appointment, as it can be called, from the Queen, because I think the Queen must appoint.
But would you, as the activist, would you expect the ambassador to start doing the meetings to start meeting with Ukrainians, with active Ukrainians here in London right away? You don't need official appointments for that.
Yeah, I haven't met yet, but I think this would be very, very important to meet activists and to meet Hromada, diaspora community, because the problems of diaspora, of community and activists are very important, and the ambassador, I think, should concentrate on these issues in first instance. And I would expect she would invite us for the meetings soon.
Should you have a meeting with the ambassador anytime soon, what would be your key advice to the ambassador, or rather, what would be your key messages to the ambassador?
First message would be to do reforms. We all have this movement of reforms in Ukraine, but here, being in London, our state is embassy, and the reforms should start from the embassy. So communication of the embassy and consulate with the community, with Ukrainians, Ukrainian citizens here, must be reformed and changed. It must be brought on a totally new level, because the role of diaspora these days is growing and the numbers are growing. So the approach the embassy was taking previously as a bureaucratic and I would say not modern one, should be changed. And I think ambassador should concentrate on reforming the way embassy works. Then I would also suggest to concentrate on media and visibility of Ukraine in British and international news. So ambassador will be supposed to attend and give interviews on a daily or weekly basis.
We'll see how things develop in this matter. Serhiy, many thanks for finding the time to come and talk to us. This has been the founder of information platform Ukrainian Events in London, and one of the activists, Ukrainian activists here in the United Kingdom, Serhiy Burnus. I'm Volodymyr Sologub. Thank you for watching us.